Last year, I made an app to get jacked. And it worked. I got bigger, stronger, leaner. But recently, I stopped using it because it doesn't meet my needs anymore. So, in this video, we're giving it an update. But first, what's wrong with it? Well, to understand that, we need to know how it works. So, here's a quick walkthrough. Programming. No, not that kind. This kind. You need to have a plan when you work out. In the app, you create a routine which contains the different sessions that you'll have throughout the week. Each session contains the exercises that you'll be performing on a specific day. At the end of each exercise, you enter how many reps you did and how much weight you moved. The app keeps track of this for each session, and over time, trends are established, and you get a nice visual representation of your progress. So that's how it's supposed to work, and for a while it did. But as I kept training, I started to notice a few problems. Firstly, it's too rigid. Back when I started, I had a set routine and specific workouts. But now my training is a lot more flexible. I tend to swap movements or experiment with new exercises for the same reasons that couples going through a rough patch take up weird activities like salsa dancing. Change is good, and it keeps that passion alive. Also, I just need to get this out of my system. There's nothing more frustrating than seeing a girl at a Smith machine when I want to use it. Because these people will be there forever. They'll do like 20 sets of glute bridges, 10 sets of squats, and 6 sets of some stuff I've never seen before in my life. So on days like this, I often have to swap around movements and, change what I wanted to do by the Smith machine. And the app has to be able to account for these changes. In its current state, it does not allow much flexibility. Secondly, the data that the app provides isn't that helpful. It often happens that one muscle progresses faster than another, and I need to know this so that I know what's lagging behind and can adjust my training accordingly. For example, this session had a 16% increase in volume. For those who aren't aware, volume equals weight times reps. So essentially it represents the total amount of weight that I moved in that session. Now, this 16% increase is cool and all, but I don't know if it was because my bench went up or maybe my shoulders got stronger. It's just not visibly clear. Lastly, using this in light mode is just crazy. I don't know why I didn't add a dark mode initially. I mean, at this point, dark mode is kind of a basic human need. So yeah, I need to add that. And I think those are the 3 main issues I have with the app. So let's get working on fixing them. So there's a problem. I don't write comments for my code. And I justify this by saying that, my code's very good and it documents itself. But that's not true. I write pretty questionable code for the most part. So I'm having a bit of a hard time understanding what's happening here. I mean, I wrote this a year ago, so yeah, it's been a while. But luckily, I made it using tools that I'm pretty familiar with, so it shouldn't take too long to refamiliarize myself with the concepts. I hope that's not like a famous lost words type of moment. Anyway, let me get back to understanding this code. Okay, so I understand it now, but I'm gonna be real with you. The idea was to have a coding time lapse here where we start from the beginning and work through the changes together, but I got sick for the past week or couple of weeks and I didn't record much. But luckily, I still did code, because in sickness and in health, code must still be written. So I've made some changes, not all of them, some, and I think it's just best if I just show you what I did. But before we get to that, let's start at the beginning with the sketches. I feel like my voice still sounds a bit off. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is it. I never really know how to approach these sections of my videos because a lot of you just click off at this point because I guess it's not as entertaining looking at my beautiful drawings. But Yeah, I'll just slap some Subway Surfers gameplay somewhere to keep you engaged. I'm only joking. Well, not really, but anyway. Right, so on the left hand side of the screen, we have what the app used to look like. And on the right hand side are my sketches of the ideal changes to make, right? With some explanations there, we don't have to get too into that. But the idea here is to really just do away with routines, this concept of routines. Because again, the first problem I had was that this current approach that I made here on the left is too rigid. So let me show you what the change looks like. Right, so this is it. You open the app, this is what you see. And you firstly come by here, you select the day type. Let's say today we're doing legs. So we add an exercise, we enter its name, squats, and then all we do is just focus on adding our sets. It loads it automatically for us, and it automatically knew that that's supposed to be your quads being worked by the squats. Now, how did it know that? Almost feels like magic. Take a guess. I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, time's up. So all it is just a ChatGPT prompt, right? I have this method called determine muscle group, and what I do is I pass in the exercise name, and I also give it a list of muscle groups, and from the exercise name it'll determine the most appropriate muscle group that exercise works. We close that, and then we move on to the next exercise, and we do the same thing over and over. Once we're done, we say finish, and we get this performance review section. We will be covering this next. Okay, so before we talk about the performance review, I just want to say that I actually use this app in its current state the past 2 days in the gym, and it felt really good. I like how simple it is, and I feel like nowadays a lot of apps just don't feel as focused anymore. And it makes sense. I mean, they make money from keeping you on the app as long as possible, but it's nice to have these focused, simple, release task-specific apps. Now, in its current state, there's still things that need to be fixed. Firstly, we have to have the discussion about how I track my progress, right? How do I know I'm getting better at a specific muscle group? And secondly, it's still pretty bright. I mean, there's a lot of white on the screen, so sorry for you guys watching. Maybe you might want to decrease the brightness, but I might disappear then. Okay, not a good joke. Anyway, let's get back to discussing the performance review. Then we'll get to working on the dark mode. So we finished and got prompted with this dialogue of a performance review. This is highlighted in yellow because no progress has been made since there's nothing to compare it to, right? We have today, but there is no previous stats. Now, let's close this off and go to tomorrow for demonstrative purposes. We will have a leg day again today. And the nice thing now is since we have a previous leg day workout, we just copy it and we then perform the exercises. We open it up again. It's a bit of a strange progression, but bear with me. So we close that off. Things have changed. We performed a bit better today, well, tomorrow. We finish off, and now performance review, we have this little green section showing that things have gone up. Now we open this up so you can see where exactly you progressed, and the colors just make it really easy to pick that up. Pretty straightforward. Close this off. So that's progression in terms of workouts. But now how do we see progression in terms of muscle groups? Well, we would come all the way here to the bottom and we then see this little blank screen. I still need to redesign this. Right, so here you drop down and you select the muscle group that you're interested in. So let's go to squats, or rather quads, right? Quads, and we'll see that there's been a decent progression within the 2 sessions that we've had. Now that's a bit ugly, I need to fix that. But yeah, this is just a nice little visual, and you can imagine seeing this over maybe a 6-month period. I think that would be really cool to kind of see how things ebb and flow, because it's not always going to be a straight graph up, right? But again, seeing the graph will then enable you to make necessary changes within your sessions. Maybe you want to focus more on legs that week or that month, or maybe you want to focus more on biceps. So that's what we have so far. In settings, there's not much to look at here. I still need to add a dark mode. So that's what we're about to do now. I think it turned out well, and I'm looking forward to using it on a daily basis. Link to the app and code is in the description. Check it out, train hard, and thank you for your time.